Let's talk about lighting. It's something we use every single day, but, most of us get it completely wrong. We tend to focus on the fixture, right? The lamp, that cool-looking object hanging from the ceiling. But the real story, the thing that actually changes how you feel in a space, has almost nothing to do with the fixture itself.
And that's really the core idea for us today. Lighting is a language. It speaks to us about mood and comfort and energy, and believe it or not, even our health. So in this explainer, I'm going to teach you the basics, the fundamentals you need to speak this language fluently, just like a pro. And trust me, by the end of this, you will never look at a light bulb the same way again.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Every single professionally lit room, I don't care if it's your cozy living room or a massive fancy museum, it's all built on this really simple three-part structure. You can think of this as the basic grammar of lighting design.
Okay, so first up, you have your ambient layer. This is your foundation. It's the general light that lets you see and walk around without bumping into things. Then you've got the task layer. This is your focused, get-it-done light. Think about the lamp you read under, or the lights right above your kitchen counter where you're chopping vegetables. And finally, my favorite part, the accent layer. This is all about the drama. It's how you highlight a piece of art or show off a cool architectural feature. You get these three layers working together, and you are well on your way.
So now that we have the basic grammar down with our three layers, it's time to learn the vocabulary. These are the actual tools and terms that designers use to really shape, control, and define the light in a room.
First on the list is something called color temperature, or CCT. Now, this sounds super technical, I know, but it's actually pretty simple. It's measured in a unit called Kelvin, and all it does is describe how warm or cool the light looks. And this isn't just about picking a color you like. Designers choose a very specific color temperature to actually influence how we feel and act in a space.
And this chart here breaks it down perfectly. See, way down on the low end, around 2700 Kelvin, you get that warm, cozy, almost candle-like glow. It's perfect for relaxing in a living room. In the middle, around 4000 K, that's your balanced, neutral white, great for places like kitchens or home offices where you need to see clearly. And then, way up at 6000 K, you get this crisp, almost bluish light that really promotes alertness. Think of a workshop or a garage.
Next up is beam angle. This one is so important and so often overlooked. You could have two light bulbs that are exactly the same in terms of power, but if one has a super narrow 10-degree beam and the other has a wide 60-degree beam, the effect will be completely different. That narrow beam is like a spotlight, very dramatic, perfect for accent lighting. The wide beam floods an area with light, which is great for your general ambient layer.
I love this quote because it's just so true. Dimming is not a luxury. Let me repeat that. It is not a luxury. It is absolutely essential for good lighting. It's what gives you control. It's what lets a room be a bright, functional workspace during the day and a moody, intimate dining space at night. It saves energy, it's more comfortable, it makes your space work for you.
All right, let's clear up one of the biggest myths in lighting. For decades, we've all been trained to buy light bulbs based on the wattage, right? We think, oh, a 100-watt bulb is brighter than a 60-watt bulb. But is that actually true anymore?
The answer is a huge, resounding no. And this slide lays it out perfectly. Wattage, all that measures is how much energy the bulb uses. That's it. Lumens, on the other hand, that's the number that tells you how much light the bulb actually puts out, how bright it is. And with today's super efficient LEDs, you can have a very low watt bulb that is incredibly bright.
So here is the single most important pro tip I can give you when you're shopping for lights. From this day forward, I want you to completely ignore the watts. It's all about the lumens. Lumens equals brightness. If you want a brighter light, you need more lumens. It's that simple.
Okay, so we've got the structure, and we've got the vocabulary. Now let's talk about the why. Let's talk about the direct impact that light, both good and bad, has on us as human beings. This is where lighting gets really personal.
Bad lighting isn't just ugly. It can actually make you feel physically bad. We're talking about things like flicker, this invisible, super fast flashing you find in cheap LEDs. Your eyes might not consciously see it, but your brain does. And that, along with glare, can lead to real issues like headaches, eye strain, and that feeling of being totally wiped out without knowing why.
And this brings us to one of the most elegant principles of good lighting design. Amateurs put up lights where you can see the glaring bulb everywhere. But a pro knows that the goal is to hide the source and show the effect. You want to see that beautiful wash of light on the wall. You want to see the objects in the room perfectly lit, but you don't want to be blinded by the bulb that's doing the work.
Now this
is where things get truly mind-blowing. There's this whole field called human-centric lighting, and the idea is that light has a profound biological impact on us. It's all about tuning our artificial lights to match our body's natural internal clock, our circadian rhythm. That means using cooler, brighter light during the day to help us feel alert and focused, and then shifting to warmer, dimmer light in the evening to help our bodies wind down and prepare for sleep.
And this quote just nails it. The light in our environment isn't just passively bouncing into our eyes so we can see stuff. No way. It's actively communicating with our biology, influencing our hormones, our sleep patterns, our mood, everything. Good lighting isn't just interior design, it's practically healthcare.
So let's pull all of this together. Once you understand these core principles, you fundamentally change how you interact with light. You're no longer just a passive consumer, just, grabbing whatever's on the shelf at the hardware store.
You get it now. You understand the language. You know the grammar, those 3 key layers: ambient, task, and accent. You've learned the vocabulary. You know what color, temperature, and beam angle mean, and you know the crucial difference between lumens and watts. And maybe most importantly, you now understand the real impact that light has on our lives.
And that, right there, is the big takeaway. Armed with everything we've talked about, you're not just buying a light bulb anymore. You are consciously and actively designing the experience, the feeling, the mood, even the biology of your space. The question is no longer, which lamp should I get? The question is now, what kind of world do I want to create?